NBA free agency is upon us, and the Woj bombs are falling left and right. But what does all this sign and trade, player option, this amount of deal, what does all those things mean? Well, we're going to talk about all that and more. We're going to talk about what does player options mean, team options, sign and trade, unrestricted and free agency, and a whole lot more. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's your thumb, and let's go ahead and get into it. What NBA free agency really boils down to is that players' contracts run out and they either have to sign with their existing team or a new team, which, for lack of any better word or phrase, it's open season in the NBA, and teams are going left and right trying to get those superstars and trying to fill up their rosters to which they can think they could win the NBA finals. And two of the most common titles you see during this time is restricted free agent or unrestricted free agent. And these two things are very important when it comes to how these teams can sign athletes and how these athletes can move on their own. When it comes to restricted free agents, it really is following the definition of the word restricted. These athletes can sign with new teams, but their original team has to have the option to match that deal that the new team is giving them. Only certain people can be restricted free agents. And the very first ones are fourth-year NBA rookies that are coming off that rookie pay scale contract. If you want to know more about the NBA rookies contracts and that pay scale, make sure to check out the video. I'll link it up here in the card as well in the description, and I go all over how much NBA rookies make and how their contracts are set up. The next kind of player who is a restricted free agent comes under all veterans who have been in the league 3 seasons or less. There is an exception to this, as first-round draft picks who teams do not exercise that team option on them, they do become unrestricted free agents. Again, to learn more about, check that video in the playlist down in the description, and I explain all of that and more when it comes to the NBA. And the last type of player who is a restricted free agent are former two-way contract athletes. And if you would like me to do a video about two-way contracts, let me know down in the description below, and I'll definitely get that out to you guys. The options that these restricted free agents have are kind of limited as you would think a restricted person does. The first option that they have is to accept the qualifying offer that their original team proposes and play with them that next season, and then they become a unrestricted free agent the following season. Qualifying offers are a 1-year guaranteed deal that is given to the athlete from their original team and allows them to play with that same team next season. The next option these athletes have are to accept a max team qualifying offer, which becomes a long-term deal and allows the athlete to stay a little bit longer. The last option that these athletes have is to sign a new contract that is outside of the qualifying offer. And this is an example of Steph Curry's new deal with the Golden State Warriors as he was coming up on free agency in 2022 and 2023 that would allow him to change teams, but they decided on a new deal. Players this season that have signed deals already that were restricted free agents are Lonzo Ball, Devontae Graham, and Jarrett Allen. When it comes to unrestricted free agents, it means exactly what you probably think. These athletes are able to sign with any team, and once they sign, they are a member of that team. Some of this season's unrestricted free agents that have already signed are DeMar DeRozan, who signed a new deal with the Chicago Bulls, and Kyle Lowry, who signed a new deal with the Miami Heat. But one interesting thing about Kyle Lowry's deal was that it was a sign and trade. Sign and trades means exactly what it sounds like, as well as the Toronto Raptors did sign Kyle Lowry to a new deal, but they immediately traded him to a team he wanted, which was the Miami Heat. And this allows teams to still get something while they are losing their star players, which Kyle Lowry was. And this is only available and can be used on unrestricted free agents. Now, there's 3 options that are really important when you're thinking about NBA free agencies. The first is a team option, and that can be seen with Goran Dragic this season, as he has a team option on his deal. And that means that the team can express that option on him and keep him for another year, or they can deny his team option and he'll become a unrestricted free agent following the 2022 NBA season. This is important because it really puts the power into the team's hand and not the athletes, which is opposite from the next option, which is the player option, which all the power lies on the player, and the player can decide if they want to come back for a following season or not. And this can be seen with Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard, who both turned down their player options this season, but allows them to sign new contracts with their existing team or another team, which Chris Paul did exactly that and signed a new 4-year contract with the Phoenix Suns. Two very important details when it comes to player and team options is that they can only be for 1 year, and the salaries that they make during these option seasons cannot be lower than what they made the previous season. The last option that is important to NBA free agency is early termination option, also known as ETO. And this gives players the power to end their contract at that time. It can only be used after the 4th season, which means contracts have to be at least 5 years long. And when the players do this, they can sign with any team they want to. This can be seen in LeBron's contract that allowed him to leave the Miami Heat and go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And currently, Duncan Robinson's new contract has an ETO in it as well. Now that you know so much about NBA free agency, make sure to check out this video right here where I talk about how much NBA rookies make and the rookie pay scale and why it is very important where rookies are drafted at, as well as check out my entire playlist about how the NBA works simplified, and I go over a lot of things in the NBA that can be easily misunderstood. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which are on Mondays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know down in the comments below who do you think will be the biggest NBA free agent pickup this year, and give this video a thumbs up or thumbs down because it's still your thumb, and remember, don't be afraid to join the convo. Qualifying offers are when